Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. For today, this is how to start your Cities Skylines city in 2023. Let's get started. So the very first thing you're gonna have to do is you need to start a game. Well, right now on the screen, because I have a mod, a certain mod kind of messes with your main menu of your Cities Skylines screen. So usually to the left and to the right, you do have different options of mods and stuff like that, but whatever, let's continue. Anyway, so you do have to choose a new map. So on the screen in front of you, you're going to see that you have tons of different options. So obviously a lot of these maps are from different DLCs and different map packs that come out via the Steam Workshop and that Cities Skylines releases. So how do I choose what map I want to play on? So obviously the thumbnail is a big indicator, and what I like to see is natural resources. And I also like to see on the thumbnail is their water access. So I want to make sure that I have shipping, cargo ships. And like if you look on the screen, the Desert Valley, does not really have, it's not screaming ocean to me. All right, like the river plains and whatnot, okay, like a river, but we want to have cargo ships. And what we're going to do is we're going to first start out by naming the city how to play Cities Skylines. So this series is going to be a tutorial on how to start your Cities Skylines city. So like I mentioned before, we love our natural resources, our oil, our ore, our farming, our forestry, and you can see the amount of water on the map, which is quite a lot. So that's pretty exciting by itself. So, obviously the thumbnail gives a good description of that, and, pretty good. So far I like the look of this map without clicking into it. So what you want to do is, a lot of people in Cities Skylines on my YouTube shorts, they ask, like, how do you make your cities look so good? Now this theme, don't worry about the don't change part, but the theme is you can have a tropical one, like, just like the Bahamas or Florida, temperate. You could have something look temperate, or winter. Winter is a lot of snow. Then you can go into the map themes itself, and you can download these from the Cities Skylines Steam Workshop, and you can choose it. Obviously, there's slight different variances from, a European theme to a tropical theme. There's a slight different custom map theme. And then obviously the outside connections, which I mentioned before, is huge. We have a highway connection, train connection, shipping connection, and plane connections. This way we can build up everything we want. So let's get this city started. Okay, guys, welcome to the How to Play Cities Skylines map. And as we zoom out, it's kind of like a giant peninsula with a lot of mountains. But this is going to be interesting because we can do a lot of different things when creating this city. So now that we're here, we do need to show you how to start your Cities Skylines layout. So to get started, we want to plan out how we're going to start building up the city. So obviously to the left, we're kind of stuck. There's a river there. Like, we're not going to build on top of a river and get rid of the river. So what we want to do is we want to kind of make a right hand or a right angled turn. So what we need to do is we need to start out, and right now we don't have too many different road options. So what we're going to do is we're going to zoom in a little bit, and we're going to create a road of 40. And then we're going to instantly delete the road of 40. So you're going to see that we have a few more options at the bottom of the screen. And this also enables our one-way road, which works out amazing. So what we need to do next is we need to create that right-hand turn. So let's get our Cities Skylines layout started. And again, we're trying to figure out what we want to do. So you saw that there's train tracks and stuff like that. So we want to put our commercial, or I should say our industrial zoning at the bottom right of our page, or of our map. So now we get started, and so far we just added two straight roads, and now we're going to start the right hand turn. So you're going to see that I have a curved road, and what I'm trying to do is create that perfect, somewhat perfect right hand turn, which ultimately I think it looks amazing. And, you know, it's fine for the time being. I think it looks good. So what we'll do next is we want the other side to have an equal distant, you know, right-hand turn. So what we're going to do is we're using the we're using the network multi-tool, and what we'll do is we'll create a parallel line. So right now I'm clicking on the nodes. We want it to go as far as possible, but obviously we can't do the connection. So what we'll do is we'll hit the plus sign, and we're gonna spread out that road. So we're gonna click, 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 click till we get to about right. So I think 34 was a decent number, and what you do after that is you press enter. And after you press enter, you're gonna notice that that is a pretty darn good parallel line right next to where our our original line started. So what we'll do is well, first and foremost, turn off your mod, and then use a curved road and connect everything. Okay, so far so good in our Cities Skylines road layout. Now what we need to get into next is I as a Cities Skylines fan love, if you ever watch any of my Cities Skylines YouTube shorts, you're gonna see that I love roundabouts. Now we're gonna do one that is 400 in length in north to south, and then to the right we're gonna go 200, and then to the left we're also going to do 200. And the reason why we do like roundabouts is traffic flow. And if you want to know how I created a perfect turn, you're gonna see there is a guide and there is a blue line. We're gonna left click on that line, and once we left click using a curved road, we're just gonna drag it downwards. So do the same thing 3 other times. So we hit that blue line, click, and then it automatically will curve everything over, and we have ourselves a perfect roundabout. Now there are a couple different ways to actually connect up your roundabout, but since we're just starting out, we have a very limited budget, and I'm just grabbing the nodes and just adding the one-way roads. And if you want, you can update these roads. Not really, you don't have to do it immediately, but I'm just doing it for the time being. Obviously, I updated a road that didn't really need it, but whatever. Anyway, so what we need to keep doing is, well, yeah, we do want that dirt road back there because we don't want that. Essentially, if we delete it, we want this roundabout to stay intact if we delete anything by accident. So we're keeping the basic gist of the roundabout together. So now what we're going to do next is we want to create the industrial area. So the industrial area is we already mentioned we want it at the bottom of our map because of the train connection, because we want a cargo train station eventually. Cargo train stations help alleviate all the trucks going in and out of your highway or in and out of your city, and creates a lot less traffic. So there's 2 ways you can actually create an off ramp, so to speak. It's not really an off ramp, but create a way on and off your roundabout. What we're gonna do is we're gonna use the medium-sized road approach. So what we'll do is we're gonna create a straight medium-sized road for 1200, and then we're gonna create an additional one because remember, we want to go towards our industrial area. We want to go and build eventually towards the trains, like I've already mentioned like 3 times before. So what we'll do is we'll put one for 1900-ish, give or take, dollars, and then we'll eventually connect. Ooh, that did not work, but eventually we will connect over and create a left 90-degree angle. So okay, so far so good. Now this is where you can differentiate your roundabouts. You can connect it like this, and later on I will show you the second way of connecting up your roundabout. But eventually just go like that, bing bang boom, you have an on and off ramp basically. And if you do see trees on the roundabout, and we can actually fix that second road, but if you do see trees, see, look, I just grabbed the move it mod. Now I don't fix it completely. I just kind of, I do not have time for this. So let's just not mess with it. But what you'll notice is right now I do have anarchy on. So anyways, so what we're doing right now is creating our industrial area. Make sure you leave enough room for your industrial area where, you're not going to cram up the entire industrial area with traffic. Like you don't see how we have an 800 width of the grid that we created, well, that's on purpose so that we don't have too many cars going in and out of a certain area. We do want to manage the traffic. We don't want a million traffic lights. That's essentially what we're going for right now. So we do want to expand out this industrial area just a little bit. So as we expand out our industrial area, I do want to let you know that I am not a fan of grids, but early on, it's honestly kind of necessary because you need, you could see on the screen in front of you, we have a budget of $48,000 left. And right now you can see I'm confusing up the medium-sized road for the small 4-lane road. And with all these new DLCs and stuff like that, it's pretty easy. But anyways, we want to conserve as much money as possible, and we want the electric power grid to stay together, and we don't want to really jump too much because we don't want to use all of our money on power lines. So you can see right here, I'm just adding this road and not connecting it to the main road because we don't want a million of those lights like I mentioned before. So we're going to do that over here as well. But you know, essentially we don't want to spend money on power lines. That's honest to God why I don't want to, you know, I keep everything grid-like, because we're just keeping everything together where the power grid can expand. And, you know, overall, this industrial area is perfect for what we want to do. Also, keep in mind for this industrial area, I am using dirt roads. Dirt roads do save you a lot of money. Now that we have $45,000 left, yeah, our budget is low, guys. Yeah. We're a little bit low on funds right now, but you can see that I do still grab a medium-sized road. Don't worry too much about the budget just yet. I do add a road for $2,040, and then I do the same thing. I try to go 800 or as close to 800 as possible. Now this is again where it gets a little trickier because remember, I don't want to jam up the roundabout. I don't want too many lights, and I don't want to jam up that roundabout with traffic. So what I'll do is I'm about 400 away from the roundabout itself, and then I just go out 800 and then I grid it up. Now obviously we're just making sure our grid is completely, like, look at, we have no spaces in between. So it's a very, very, very tight grid. And again, I'm lazy. I don't want to add power lines and stuff like that. So just adding to the grid. Eventually we're going to get out of the grid. So that, you know, that's coming, guys. That's definitely 100% coming. I know that gets boring after a while, but you know, see, look at, I will do a slight diagonal to get out of the grid, but I know this eventually will change. I know. I'm just saying, I know. So we'll expand this out a little bit more and just keep watching our funds. Now we're still at $37,000, and again, we're using dirt roads over here because they're dirt cheap. Get it? Dirt roads and dirt cheap. So now we have 3 connections for our neighborhoods, and so far everything is looking good. So now we need to start adding our utilities. So yes, our money is a little low, and what we'll do is we're going to create a coal power plant for $19,000. Now, the $19,000 coal plant. Now, sometimes you might think, hey, let's put that on that road, to that dead end road. Perfect idea. Well, a coal power plant needs to receive coal from the outside connections, so from our highway. So make sure that it is decently close to the highway. So now I see, you know, obviously we're going to expand the industrial area closer to that highway, but we're going to put it over there so it's less of a drive than going down the dead end. And what we need to do next is add those power lines. So the power lines, see, we don't want to spend all of our money on power lines, but that's a pretty okay amount. And in the blue, you can see our power line is on top of it. Well, you can see that the blue means it is connected to the power plant. That means our residential area will get power. The next thing we need to do is we need to add 2 different water functions. We need to bring in fresh water. So I like using the water tower. Now, the thing with the water tower is it does give off noise pollution. You can see the orangish red halo around it. So what I'll do is, instead of, you know, I would like to put it in the middle of the roundabout, to be 100% honest with you, but that might cost too many. We don't have enough money power line wise to do that. So let's just build that right there. So in this way, very easy connection, power lines and whatnot. Now, the next thing we want to build is, where does our sewage go? So you can build a water drainage pipe, which is all the way out there, and you can pollute your rivers, which it creates pollution and it just overall does not look good. But if you have the Sunset Harbor DLC, what you can do is there's what's called an inland water treatment plant. And they both cost the same. So you're not really losing or gaining anything by using the inland one. The inland one just, it doesn't pollute your rivers. So we're gonna place that really close to our power plant because, well, it needs power. So again, that's also why we have our grid and everything so close, because we don't have to waste power line money to put in that area. So the next thing after that, to actually get our water systems in place, what we need to do is we need to build water pipes. So the water pipe, you can see that there is a blue halo, everything in the blue. Yeah, and we're not going to go all the way across yet because we don't have we have $4,000 in funding left, just to let you know. So everything in blue is everything that will get water provided to the town itself. So right now that is, we're trying to get as best as possible, as much pipage, as much of the water pipes as possible. What we're trying, and don't forget to connect up our water tower, but we're trying to get as much bang for our buck because look at, we're down to $150. And you can see we don't have any more money, but that's okay, guys. I promise you, we will make it out alive and you'll be making tons of money in your Cities Skylines city. So the next thing we need to do is we need to fill in our zoning. So the green, you can see that at the bottom of the screen, we have a ton of demand for residential zoning. So we're just filling in those zones. Now you're gonna see at the bottom of the screen, I did not fill in the bottom part of that residential zoning. And I kind of just leave it around our power lines because we don't have water underneath the bottom part, which is fine for the time being. Like you can see, we do not have water below that blue line, but it'll be okay, promise. So what I'm doing next is I'm filling in the commercial. So commercial is all the blue that you see. Now, commercial is always built on a medium-sized road because the medium-sized road and large roads create noise. There's traffic noise, and it can actually make your citizens sick. So that's why we're actually putting all of our residential in kind of like a neighborhood. And as you can see there, we can't do much right now. We don't have the landscaping tools, so there's not much detailing we can do. So that's pretty much it for our residential area. And what we'll do with commercial, we're just gonna fill all of the commercial in. And this is just using the marquee tool and just grabbing it and filling everything in. So now that we have everything in place, you're gonna watch. I'm going to do a fast forward rendering for a couple seconds. You're gonna watch everything fill in and you're gonna watch our money go down like crazy. Now, before you go, oh my God, you're gonna go broke. Like, what are you doing, Sports Monkey? Have you ever played this game in your life? It's called being patient. Yeah, we're down $4,000, but everything, our residents are filling in. We have over 230, and we're closing in on our first milestone, which we'll get a ton of money from that. So you can see people, ooh, that power line was not in a good spot. Anyways, wow, that power line was not a great spot, but people are moving in and we're just gradually building up, adding our residential zoning. We have tons of it. Now that we moved over a little bit and we stopped doing our fast forward rendering, you can see we're now finally making money. We're at plus $117. So it only took minus 5,730, but now we're finally making money. But that's okay because we're closing in on a milestone. When you do reach a milestone, you will get a decent amount of money. So as we approach the 500 residents milestone, oh, and as we just hit it, this is our first achievement and our first milestone. We're a little hamlet where we have taxes, loan, garbage, healthcare, and education. So we have basic services we do need to add to our city. Now, the very first thing I want to do though is I want to expand our piping, and this way we can kind of add, ooh, that's a little diagonal. I don't like it. If I were rich and had more money, I would fix that. Like, you're gonna see here that it doesn't exactly go far enough, so we just added and went straight down. So I wanted to add the pipes so we can expand our zoning to where, you know, we can kind of future-proof it a little bit. Like you can see at the bottom of the screen, we really don't have demand for literally anything because we're just waiting for the city itself to fill in. So while we're waiting, I do want to go into some of the things we did unlock. It's loans. Then this is key to your budget. So your budget, here are all of your current services. We want to bring down our electric budget. So remember that coal power plant? The coal power plant creates about 40 megawatts. Let's see. Well, right now it's not at 40 because we lowered our budget. But if we go into the electricity, info view, you can see that we have 40 megawatts. And since we lowered our budget, it went down to 21 megawatts. So this is costing our city less money. But you can see right now we're only using 12 megawatts of power. So we're kind of overachieving in the electricity fund. But this way, it kind of makes us save money. Now, the next thing we need to do also is we maintain our budget is move our taxes up to 12%. 12% is the maximum amount you can have budget-wise before your residents start complaining and be like, hey, you're overtaxing us, government. Anyway, wow, that was kind of embarrassing. That was an embarrassing impromptu thing. But anyways, what we'll do next is we'll fill in more residential. And the reason behind that is, well, we already created it, but we also want to make sure that we don't stop any residential growth. We want more people and more taxpayers to actually come and move into our city. And you're going to see our weekly income is at $1,329 right now. So the more residents we get, the more money we're going to make. So overall, really, really, really good start. I'm happy with the way we're started. Now, our next milestone, or well, the current milestone, I should say, is garbage, healthcare, and educational. And let's just get into that. And, we already took care of our taxes and stuff like that. Now let's get into the services. So all these services are going to be 100% necessary for your city to grow. And as you can see, we have nothing else going on. And, we already went through this. We don't have any demand for anything. So the next thing we'll do is we're going to add our garbage services. So if you look at the garbage services, we don't want to put it to where we're going to place it. And we don't want to put it to the right because, well, we don't want it to get in front of that cargo train station that we eventually want to build over there. And the reason behind that is when you do build it, essentially you have to wait for the landfill to empty out before you can demolish it. Now, I don't want to place it directly on that road because the landfills do take up they don't take up a lot of land. They create a lot of traffic. So giving the landfill its own little area in our city is perfectly fine. Like its own little road. And as you'll see on the screen, is we already have our garbage trucks going in and out of our landfill, which that's one of the services. So trash is definitely one of the services. You can see them coming out, in and out. So guys, our number one service, it's our only service right now, is getting taken care of. And right now we did have somebody walking to work. That was pretty neat. That was a pretty good start. So we have that service already in place, and we're gonna fill in the rest of our industrial zoning. Now, be careful here, guys. So see that little see that little bit? Now, we did screw up everything and we had to re-add a electric power line. But anyways, I don't think that was really worth doing. I should have just left it. So our commercial area is pretty much intact. We just need it to honestly fill in, and that's pretty simple. And the way it fills in is more people and more residential. So we have that in place. Now, the next thing we do want to focus on, well, you can see we can't really do too much more to it, but the next thing we really want to focus on is the other services. So the next service I want to talk about is healthcare. So healthcare, you can see on the screen, we have zero citizens that are sick, and we have a health capacity of 0 because we have no clinical healthcare beds. yeah, right now, healthcare does not exist because we have not placed it. So what we're gonna do next is, well, you can see we are gonna place down one of the clinics. And right now we put that on our main medium-sized road. And what the clinics do is you're gonna see that there are ambulances that come out of it. So we can handle up to 100 patients. Right now we have 0. 0 patients treated, and we have 8 ambulances. Now, ambulance-wise, depending on what content creator packs and stuff like that, you can choose between the 3. Did that say a fly car ambulance? Anyways, so that is your medical clinic in a nutshell. Now, obviously, ambulances will come out of the medical clinic, and if there's anybody in our residential areas that's sick, you can see the green, everything was taken care of. So now that we're getting close to the Worthy Village, we're almost at 800. So we're almost 200 residents away from this new achievement. And as you can see, decent amount of things we unlocked. We unlocked some of our industries and police station and other services that our city does need. So what we're gonna focus on next is, you can see we don't have too much money left over. Like, if we can't build an elementary school yet, and you can see that it costs around $10,000. Well, we only have 5,000. So how do we get that money? Well, you can go over to your loans. So hit the economy tab and go over loans, and you can see the Silver Sunset Bank wants to give you $20,000 for 5% interest. So the weekly cost of having that loan will be $403.85. So we take the loan, and as you can see at the bottom of the screen, we have $26,000. So we have enough money for our $10,000 elementary school. So we click on the elementary school, and I want to just plop it in the middle of the neighborhood. I know this isn't technically the middle of the neighborhood, but eventually all of those residentials will fill in, and it'll be basically in the middle. So if you look at the top left of the screen, you're going to notice that we have a capacity of 300, and in our tiny town already, we have 200 eligible kids that are able to go to elementary school. So if you click on it, you could also see a little bit better of a breakdown of the education. Like, you can see we currently have 60 students in the elementary school. Then we also have 66 total students that need education, well, at least elementary school education. So after we plop down that elementary school, you're gonna notice right here, we have not enough power. Now, we have that coal plant, remember, and the coal plant, we did adjust the budget. So how can we fix the electricity? Well, what we could do is we can bump up the budget. So right now it's only at 73%. And remember, I think we were only at 21 watts before. Obviously, as we bump it up to 85%, you're gonna notice the budget for it goes up, and you can see that the electricity, not enough power, is going away. Oh, nice. Okay, we just got the Worthy Village. Okay, that is a really nice achievement. We'll get into that shortly, but I just want to show you the not enough power issue. So when we go over here and we bumped up the power, you're going to see that, all right, it's at 29 megawatts. Before, if you rewind back, we are at 21. So now if we go over to our info chart, you're going to see that, okay, so that the info chart, I think, is a little bit more spot on. You could see that we're consuming a lot more power than clicking on the power plant showed. So we're producing 29 megawatts, and we're consuming 27 to 28 megawatts. So we should just bump that up to 100% and just call it a day, and it should all be okay. So we're, like I said, we're at 85%. The top one, by the way, the top budget that's white, that is the daytime budget, and then the one in blue was actually the nighttime budget, but we're only playing during the day, so I guess that's irrelevant that you move both. But anyways, whatever, that's okay. So overall, guys, this is the start of our new Cities Skylines city, and you're gonna notice that just the one last thing I want to do is I just want to fill in some commercials. So you can see at the bottom of the screen, we have that commercial demand, and look how much money we have. We have $37,573, all right? So guys, we're making tons of money already. That loan might not have been needed, but I wanted to speed up the process. You guys didn't have all day just to watch me you know, fast forward, render everything and whatnot. But guys, this is how you start your Cities Skylines city. For our next video, we're gonna get into the next upgrade, wow, the next achievement, and just dig into more of the services. But I think everything so far has turned out really great. Please let me know in the comment section below. And part of this map, by the way, you can see that it has some weird, I don't know, some of the grids are weird. But anyways, please let me know in the comment section below what you thought of this video. Thank you very much for watching, and have a great rest of your day.